38, discussion of the residential TFIs, or TIS, I'm sorry.
So I'm going to pass down two for each of you. There are two plans, and they're very generic, and I'll describe what they mean here. Sorry, you can add one to in a second. But what's important about them for now is there are two areas that we're targeting in Auburn. One on the Tippecanoe County side along Central Avenue, and one on the Benton County side and the Darby subdivision. And we're going to have separate plans for those because they don't touch. So, and one's in the process of being developed now, and one will be coming along, it sounds like. I don't know if they applied for ready funds or what.
We're working on it.
So that'll be coming along, but the idea of the TIF and to have a plan is to try and designate an area, the TIF area, to where any improvements that get added to it, any taxes on the improvements that get added to it, come to the RDC to expend in the future on development. And I'm just learning this for up to 25 years because in Goodland, we have a fund that's 22 years old, and it's got a boatload of money in it, and they haven't spent it yet, but they've got a residential TIF that's coming up, and they're going to use it to put in infrastructure in the residential TIF, and then the developer's going to pay that back over time. It's like a loan, but it'll be a low interest loan, but anyway, so you can, the idea of the TIF is to, let me send another separate. Welcome, we just started.
Okay.
So the idea of the first of all, the redevelopment commission runs the kind of the TIF district. The TIF district is going to have several areas. You already have a TIF district over on the Tippecanoe County side south of 52. And I don't know what got built over there that would be generating any.
Well, I was supposed to have been the Dollar General, but then that got messed up, so we're not generating any revenue.
Okay. And all right, I mean, we're learning. So if anything gets added over there, those will be captured and held by the RDC for expenditure. And the idea of the expenditure is to promote, economically promote the town. And so the funds that are generated within a TIF district are supposed to be spent within the TIF district, but that's kind of loose in the sense that, like, if you contributed TIF funds TIF funds to the purchase of a fire truck that served the whole town, including the TIF district, that would work. Okay, if that's how you decided to spend the money. And so we've got the one TIF district already, and it was set up exactly the way we're talking about doing this one now. The only difference being the ones that we're talking about doing right now are residential TIF districts. And so Central Avenue TIF district has 12 lots that are proposed to be included in it. And that, the plan, the development plan that I painted out that pertains to that one is called the Audubon Central Residential District. And the one on the Benton County side that is at Darby subdivision is called the Audubon Darby. And in terms of where you can find that information really fast, if you're looking at those at the very bottom, it talks about the description of the area, bottom of page 1, and one is 8 acres and one is 4 acres. And that's a quick way to spot the Darby one is the bigger one of the two. Thanks, I have extra copies too, but I haven't done it yet for the other meetings. So to begin that process, you have a plan. And so this generically says that there's going to be a 4-acre area and an 8-acre area is the plan to develop them residentially. And so there's this kind of a placeholder plan for each of the districts. The resolutions that you're being asked to consider adopt these plans. And when I say they're generic, it says that they're for residential purposes, and it even says primarily. So if there were other uses within the residential district, these are so small that it wouldn't be like that, but if you had like, what's the subdivision that's south of West Lafayette, the huge one? I just went out there, it's like 8 miles south of West Lafayette, but anyway, it's humongous, and they've got parks in there, and they've got a pond, and they've got other things that aren't residential, but they can support a residential community. And so I'm sure that's all the TIF district too. But it says that it's going to be this defined area, and that's attached, the legal description is attached for the Darby subdivision, is attached to the Darby one, and the 12 parcels that are unimproved, the unimproved parcels, and I say unimproved, if you look through the one that pertains to the Central Avenue location, with the 12, you'll see it's got 12 numbered lots on it, and I included after the parcel numbers of each parcel, who the owner is, so you can see that Moyers is in here on a couple of lots, Copus, Morgan, the company that bought the parcels that we sold is KACO LLC. They own 8 of the lots here. And there's one other, Copus owns a lot. And what those are the lots along Central Avenue. And KACO has one that's kind of removed from the other 11. It's to the south. After the curve bends around and goes back up again, it's down below. And so in the picture that would go with this, I included the road, so it's got a touch. And so that road is the town's road, and that's part of our district too. So there's 12 on the Tippecanoe County side, and I remember you said a number, and I couldn't remember the number. I said approximately 35 lots on the Darby side and the Darby subdivision, and that's all been platted out. That was platted out like 20 years ago, but it just got sold to some new intensive development. And so those are the 2 plans, and to go with those 2 plans, then after I answer any questions you've got, we'll have a resolution that adopts one plan for the central side and one for the Darby side. And that's all the work that's going to be done by the RDC tonight. And that starts the process where then the Plan Commission will meet at 6 o'clock tonight. And the Plan Commission's sole role is to decide whether the plan that calls for residential development in a residentially zoned area is consistent with our comprehensive plan that talks about how the town is to develop. And the reason why it's currently zoned residential is because the comprehensive plan called for it to be residential. So it's very consistent with the comprehensive plan, but that's for the Plan Commission to take a vote on, just to say yay or nay, it's consistent with the comprehensive plan. And then the town council tonight at their meeting, after the plan has been approved and the resolutions are signed by the RDC, the town council will start the process of creating the, I'd say, sister organization to the RDC. It's called the Economic Development Commission. The statute calls for it. You'll appoint 1 member of this 3-member board. And in Attica, when it was a city, there's a law that pertains just to cities. There's a law that pertains just to towns. And I tried to find the one right before I walked out the door, and I couldn't find the town version. If it was a city, the city council would appoint 1 member, the mayor would appoint 1 member, and the city or the county council, the fiscal body of the county, appoints 1 person. And it's a very ceremonial position. It's just, this is a statute that goes back like 40 years, and back in the day, it meant a lot more. In Fountain County, they met and approved essentially a fiscal plan, just like what we're talking about right now, that just says, yep, in this residential area, we're gonna have residences. And they've never met again. But it checked a box on the proceeding with the community in Attica is on the south side, right before you get to Old's repair shop on 41. And Harrison Steel owns that ground, and they're gonna have 3 phases of residential development going in that are like, I want to say they're like a total of 92 units or 89 units. Is a big development. And they're just getting the contracts let to start doing that, and some grants are waiting, they're already grant, which got approved. But we appointed an EDC, just like what town council is gonna do tonight, put one member on it. I'm going to the Benton County Council on July 24th and getting one member from them. And I would have thought that the third member came from you, but I saw Tom Pittman's resolution for tonight and it has room for one. So I'm not sure where the third member is coming from, and I'll talk to Tom about that tomorrow. I didn't talk to him about that today. But what we may do in the town council meeting is appoint a backup or a third person if we need it, in case the town council appoints 2, so we don't have to meet and we keep the ball rolling, because he's got me running ads in newspapers next week for future meetings. So I mean, it's go time on some of this stuff. The idea being we get the area defined with our plan and a resolution approving it, so that any improvements that get added after we adopt the plan, we capture those taxes. Capture the taxes, and they're used for development purpose by the RDC. As opposed to what happens with everyone else's taxes. A slice goes to the county, a slice goes to the town, a slice goes to the library, a slice goes to the township, a slice goes to the school. In a TIF district, the funds are retained by the TIF district for development purposes, and presumably everybody, all those other taxing districts are okay with it, because it's going to lead to more taxable property coming in that they'll eventually get a share of, because the TIF district lasts either 20 or 25 years, depending on what type you an industrial development one is 20 years and a residential one is 25 years. After that, it goes back just like the rest of the town's taxes do. So normally other taxing bodies are accommodating of that. Like a school would be accommodating of giving up those tax dollars, because you're building houses that are going to have families. You're going to put students in schools that have a $6,500 per head seat taken. So that would be for a family to bring in with 2 kids, they're saving $13,000 from the state for their student, for the 2 students on average per family that comes in. So that's why they don't object, that I've seen, to a TIF district, is because it usually scratches their back too, in a way, but it takes up to jumpstart that investment. Like the investment isn't happening by itself right now. So here are the resolutions that go with that, those 2 plans. One set. 2 sets. 2 sets.
Everybody have 2?
So, do you have questions that I could try and answer? I know that was very generic, but that's basically what this is at this point, very generic. It'll get dialed in and obtain a lot of focus as the developer puts their plans out there. Yeah, it's a good deal for the town, but it'll give the town a war chest to use to attract other investment, other development, whether it's residential, whether it's industrial. That's the idea of the TIF district, is to intercept those taxes and distribute them in a way that promotes the town, expands the town. If there are no questions, we'll need motions to pass these resolutions, and the resolutions will follow the standard numbering system of 2025-0717A and B.
Okay.
Please.
Any questions or anything from anyone?
Questions?
Okay, I need a motion to pass resolution 2025-0717A. Motion? Second? All in favor? Aye.
On A, if you look under the capitalized title of the resolution, there's something in bold print that says Otterman Darby or Otterman Central.
Yes.
Which one was A?
Let's do Darby.
Darby.
Darby voted on it.
Okay.
Okay, now resolution 2025-0717B, a motion to pass the West Arlington Housing Program.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
So I'm gonna have you sign a copy for Tom, a copy for me, and a copy for Treva. So we're gonna sign 3 of these, because I want Tom Pittman is your, the attorney for this. He's kind of like the guy about the TIF districts in Indiana. He wrote he helped write the laws that were passed. That's why he charges what he charges, and but he gets things done quickly and off the top of his head. So there's some give and take there on what he charges, but I want him to have a complete set too.
We're signing what you gave us, right?
Right. I'm actually, how about this? I'm gonna hand down 3 sets.
Lisa, you're gonna hand them to us, okay, so don't
And you
sign
can,
it.
yeah, those are just for your identification. There's 3 of part B. And there's 3 of part A. The last thing, that, and this is while you're saying, we'll have another meeting September 4th, and you'll receive notice of that. We will pass the declaratory resolution creating the housing TIF districts. Planning Commission will meet then as well, and the town council will be meeting that night, so it'll probably be set up just like we set up the meetings for tonight, 5:36 and 6:30.
September 4th.
That's September 4th. At 5:36 and 6:30.
We just got 2 sitting down, is that all?
I sent out 3 each.
I got 2 Bs, 1 A here.
That's okay. This is not.
And they all have the names written at the top of them. Treva wrote 1 and I wrote 2 each. But if you don't find it, you just need to re-sign. We just need to make sure Darby is the one with the A. That's the plan,
This is the plan, this is the resolutions.
the resolution, but that's the one that was just for you to review.
Right.
That's your copy.
Okay, this one is the same. Okay, that's all we got.
I think we got
Okay, we're signing that.
these for one of each, which we'll ask you.
Is that his copy or your copy?
That's his.
That's his copy, so I can need to sign that.
Stuck together.
It's 3 Bs. Only 2 Bs. That was like another deed.
I think we got it.
Perfect. Thank you very much, and then we'll motion to adjourn.
Right. I think to adjourn the meeting.
Second?
What was that?
Adjourn the meeting.
Motion
And who
to
was
adjourn.
that?
Brad and Linda.
Motion and Linda seconded.
Next meeting.
And then how do you want us to do the?
Area Plan Commission now next.
So it's these, whoever's on there.
So who's here for the plan commission meeting? What's your name, please?
Jay,
Jay, okay, thanks for the email, Jay. Ron,
Yeah,
and, and Kenny, we just added, okay, Kenny, what's your last name?
King,
Kitty King.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay? Are you able to get them speaking if they, okay. So, I don't know how much of that you heard, but the process is for a TIF district, that's the purpose of this, and we're creating two. One around Central Avenue that has 12 lots that are unimproved right now. And, but we'll soon be seeing some improvement because the town sold 8 lots and they have a kind of a building requirement, so they should be going up. And then the other one is the Darby subdivision that was never finished, that 8 acres there up at US 52, that is anticipated to be starting sometime soon. And so the idea is that we identify these 2 TIF districts for residential purposes. And as improvements get added to them after we have adopted the plan that just got adopted by the redevelopment commission. Those taxes on just the improvements, not on the underlying land, that the taxes on the underlying land will just continue to be paid exactly as it gets distributed by all the different taxing entities. The improvements will be collected by the RDC and within the TIF district and spent to improve the TIF district. That's the idea. And I don't know if you were here when I gave the example of the fire truck. If a fire truck served the TIF district but also served the town, that would be acceptable. It's just got to improve the TIF district in some way. So like if it was specifically, for improving water lines out on the Tippecanoe County side and you're using the TIF money from the Darby subdivision, that's a problem because unless you can show the connection somehow. So the purpose of the Plan Commission meeting, the Plan Commission does two things. They are the interpreters of the comprehensive plan. So before Harbin developed its zoning code, it had a plan. And the comprehensive plan is supposed to be a vision of the community that looks out 20 to 50 years and lays out, what you want here and here and here, and hopefully have compatible uses. And if you want to, increase the size of the residential communities, you would show that and how that is affected by what are you taking away? Like, so a solar farm right now is causing a lot of people to scratch their heads about their comprehensive plans, because that's not what was anticipated in a lot of comprehensive plans, because it didn't exist at the time. And so they have to either go back and redo their comprehensive plan to work that in somehow, or budget, which is a problem, because that affects your community's vision for 20 to 50 years. And so, like, you would never put like a residential district next to an industrial district because it's incompatible. So the plan commission would look at things like that in their comprehensive plan. You have a comprehensive plan. This proposal doesn't change any of the zoning that's already approved in a part of the comprehensive plan. It's residential zones in a residentially zoned area. So this isn't a stretch. Like, you're not taking land out of agriculture or taking land out of some other, industrial or commercial use and moving it to residential. That should cause you to look at it a lot closer. The whole point of this is to decide whether these two plans, one for the Central Avenue area and the Darby area, as residential TIFs, are compatible with their residential zoning. I mean, it's like almost the answer is in the question. It can't be better. It can't be more perfect. So that's why here it is abbreviated. But I need someone to make a motion if you believe that the areas are compatible with the TIF areas are compatible with the comprehensive plan. We need a motion that says that and a positive vote to accomplish that. So is there a motion to find that the two TIF areas, Central Avenue and Darby subdivision, are compatible with the comprehensive plan?
Make a motion.
Jay made that motion. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Ron seconded that. And all in favor of that?
Aye.
And so while we have you here, one other good purpose of this meeting is we should work on officers, so that I'm not necessarily, I don't mind running the meeting, but we should have somebody identified as the president and the secretary at a minimum, and probably vice president, so that if the president isn't here to run the meeting, we've got a vice president that can be here to run the meeting. Do you have those officers already? And if you do, I mean,
That
we have
would
a
be a
record of them.
ton.
Are there, yeah, let's go ahead and do officers. So does somebody want to make a nomination for either the president, the vice president, the secretary, or all three? Make a nomination.
Jay for president.
Why don't you put together a slate, and who for vice president, who for secretary?
Kenny for vice president
And then
and
who,
Ron for secretary.
does anyone, before we vote on that slate, does anyone else want to put another nomination out? All right, that slate's good, then let's go with it. It is. The slate of Jay as president, Kenny as vice president, and Ron as secretary. Is there a second to that nomination? And it can't be Treva, so Treva made the motion. Ron made the second, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ron, you second, yeah, all right. And so that's all I had, unless you have questions that I can try and answer. Otherwise, we need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. I'll second that.
And all in favor?
Aye.
And so in future meetings, as the president or the vice president during the meeting, and you want help with that, or if it's something that I'm doing, I'll have an agenda, and I'll know what I need to accomplish, and we can work through it like we did tonight, where you can run it, whatever you're comfortable doing. I don't want to step on any toes, and I don't have all the answers either, so if we don't know, we'll come to a consensus, or we'll have to come back and do it again after somebody does some homework. So probably me. So that's the end of that meeting. And I don't know if you advertised for your town council meeting, but only a part of it is gonna be the 6:30 part of it, so we don't need to wait till 6:30. I'm just saying, unless you've advertised that the regular meeting starts at 6:30?
We did,
Did you?
when we moved everything.
Okay. So we're just idling then. I'm gonna pass out a couple of things that are gonna be signed tonight as part of mine, that the EDC, you might be thinking about that. We need a member of the town council is what I'm used to. You appoint them. It doesn't have to be a member of the town council, but you appoint them to be on this body. That, just telling you, it seems very symbolic to me, and in a very high-end development with a lot of city input. They met once for 10 minutes and said, yeah, that plan is fine. And that's all. They were kind of disappointed with what they were involved in. They're not involved in. They thought there was going to be more juice to it. And it is very ceremonial is how I would describe the position, but it'll have 3 members. I'll have you guys appoint 1 and then kind of a backup in case we need a 3rd member that you're supposed to appoint. But you might be thinking about who you want to appoint to that in position 1 and position 2. Position 2 we may not use or fill. I gotta talk to Tom Pittman about that. The resolution that he sent to be signed had 1 space on it. I guess I should have asked one more question and I did not. So take the hit on that. But so there's gonna be that, and then the resolution that has everybody's positions for the Plan Commission, the Board of Zoning Appeals, and the RDC. And what that is, and we've done these for almost all the communities we represent. Now you're required, as of July 1st, to have the members of each board listed on the agenda and notices on the website maybe, and your beginning and ending terms. And it's for transparency. And so just to keep track of some of these positions for other communities, we had kind of adopted, and for communities that had kind of lost their way on so-and-so was appointed to the Plan Commission in 2014, and they've just been showing up ever since. And so I don't know what year their term ends. There's a lot of communities that just start in a direction and go in that direction until some force makes them change direction somehow. And so the idea was that we would have a resolution. It's going to be kind of an internal document for our office where we would know everybody's beginning and end terms. And we would send you a notice like in November that said, hey, your December meeting, you're gonna have 2 people drop off the Plan Commission, 1 off the BZA, and here are their qualifications. And so that has just gone out as a resolution to all of the people, and then we were gonna police it, and you've got the clerk treasurer that polices things much more closely than we do. So you probably don't need that help after you get this resolution passed, but it will identify who all your Plan Commission members are, who all your Board of Zoning Appeals members are, and who the RDC members are. And it'll also contain, it's a really good document in the sense that it contains what are the qualifications for each position. So for the Plan Commission, there are 7 members and 3 are appointed a certain way among town employees or elected officials, or appointees in the town. So like I've got somebody who is on the Economic Development Commission of another town as the employee that's now on the Planning Commission too. So there's 42 hats. Then you have 4 citizen members, and the citizen members are not elected officials, are not appointees of the town, are not, affiliated with a town position. They're citizen members in that sense. And you can't have more than 2 from either political party. So when it comes time to fill one of those positions, you got to pay attention to those qualifications are in this resolution. So it was all in one place was the idea, so you didn't have to go figure out. And you can look at someone's resolution, like I just looked at another town's Tuesday, and it wasn't possible that it could be right, just because of there are 4 Republicans. It's just kind of like, so automatically, any decision made by them is challengeable. And it's just like, we gotta correct this. And they're like, we've had these guys on forever. It's like, I don't dispute that, but I don't care because the law says you gotta have it. So a lot of times it gets hard. But remember, you can use people who voted as independents as their own separate parties. So there's some relief there. It's not just all, at least around Benton County and Warren County, especially Republican. You can use independents to find independence. It's hard to fill some of those positions, not gonna lie. That's why a lot of people end up on the board and stay on the board for years and years and years, because once you get somebody in that position, it's really hard. There are no term limits on any of those RDC, APC, the Plan Commission, or the BZA, no term limits. But
I
once
was
you get
just gonna ask, how long is the term?
4 years. For the RDC, that goes as coterminous with your elected office term. So like if you didn't run in 2028 and somebody else got elected, they would replace you on the RDC.
So this stuff that shows up on the ballot
This is stuff that would show up on the ballot. No, because they're appointed positions. So it's all going to be handled in-house. You'll understand when you see these resolutions. I'm not going to be stingy and just pass it on. At least accomplish that while we're sitting out here. This is the ordinance that has you name a person and maybe 2 for the Economic Development Commission. And then the other one, the resolution. So that first one is the naming of 1 and probably 2 members of the Economic Development Commission, which is kind of a sister organization to the Redevelopment Commission that we're already on. And it's okay if you're on the Redevelopment Commission and you put your own people on the EDC, that's not a problem. It's just a separate board. And on the resolution that confirms the various boards and commissions is how it's worded, one of the uses of this is like, for instance, in Valor, we couldn't figure out what some of their beginning and ending terms were, so we just said, we're going to start with this. And this is going to become our official starting point for, so like, unless somebody knew exactly when somebody's term began and ended, we just went with this. And the point of that is you want to make sure, and what you'll notice on here is that you've got some staggering of the terms so that you don't have brain drain by all of a sudden everybody leaves at the same year and you've got nobody with experience. And so the BZA and the Plan Commission are set up that way. The RDC is going to track your terms. So that's that, and whether that's true or not, I didn't look at. Redevelopment Commission is on page 3. Does Amy's term expire January 1st, 2026?
January. January 22nd, we go through the end of 26, so she was 27.
Okay,
Jackie
so,
and,
so we'll change that. And then Jackie is what?
the same.
January 27th?
Yeah.
Okay. That's how I do it. I make it just jive with their terms, so we're
And
not
then it
looking
would be
around and.
Craig would be 27. And then Brad and Linda are
20.
29.
Yeah, you just started, right? This is your first year, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so 29. So when we get to signing these things, I'll look at Treva will get the only copy that we need on this, and I know what I need to know about this, and she can have the formal one, which we're gonna, and another thing about numbering of ordinances and resolutions and all these boards passing different things, it may be the first thing you sign tonight, but it's gonna be numbered C. Just because I don't want any confusion if we're trying to find something, I don't want to have two 2025-0717As and getting the wrong copy. It's just a lot easier, even though it doesn't make sense for what happened in this meeting. The order of things, it'll be C, the first one that you do. So I'm gonna just number mine because it's got the changes made to it.
Okay.
So,
And since we appointed Kenny, can you fill that blank?
sure can. Good catch. And so we'll have to figure what his term is to make sure that we got that staggered going on. Yeah, the city of Attica is a trip because the mayor gets to appoint many positions on many boards. They've got a park board, a solid waste board, and an EDC, and an RDC, and an APC, and a DCA, and a couple of other boards. And I mean, if he gets to appoint them, really, it's what his term is what their term is. And he can remove them will if he wants, but so his fingerprints are like all over. And a lot of people leave office when he leaves office. It's kind of, but it's how it's written, how these boards are, that's what it means to be an executive. There's the extra copies of those plans if you're curious about the plans. Sure. That has the legal descriptions, that may be helpful too. I've got those in Word format, so. Other than the resolution for the boards and the EDC, did you have anything for me for the council? So I'm not prepared for anything but those two,
That was it.
because we're kind of caught up. Although just getting ready to take a big step forward on this tip business.
I don't know if anything that Tim has tonight might need your input. I don't know. Does he need to stick around for your section?
How does we get a vacancy on the BZA too? So you need a Democrat or Republican on the planning commission that's got a vacancy now.
And Karen, we're on two the first of this year.
Oh, maybe that's why she's ignoring.
She said she would stay on.
Oh. Okay, I mean, that's up to you guys, whether Karen Stevenson, right, stays on or not. Good man. So when we get into the meeting, when we get to that resolution, let's fill a couple of spaces on Treva's spots and start off with some full boards. It's a great way to start. Because there's still one vacancy on the BZA and still one vacancy on the Plan Commission. If you include Karen, you still have a vacancy on the Plan Commission that needs to be either a Democrat or a Republican. And they are in midterm, and that term will end in 2 years, January 27th. So
So when it says So the 3 members appointed by the legislative body, that's them. And then 4 members appointed by the municipal executive, that's Amy, right?
Yeah, but like one of those BZA members is appointed by the planning commission from their plot, from their membership.
So is this,
I think that's right. I think it'll say. Yes, BZA, so 3 citizen members appointed by the executive, which is the executive and the legislative are the same for you guys. It's not necessarily, it will be the board, 1 appointed by the council. Okay, this is Atticus language, I can tell. This has been, I just did Atticus, and so that was in my work, which is good, because I brought everything up to date. And 1 member appointed by the planning commission from the planning commission's membership, who must be either the county agricultural agent or a citizen member, other than the member already appointed. So on the BZA, let's just go through the BZA real fast, so you guys, so everybody understands the qualifications. On page 2 of that resolution, confirming the boards, it says 3 citizen members appointed by the executive of the municipality, 1 of whom must be a member of the planning commission. So we've got fish in a barrel on that one. You got that list. And 2 who must not be. And so you've got Matt Brown, Brady Sheridan, and Kent Jones. And Matt Brown is on the planning commission.
yes,
So he's your guy. He's that. So those are filled correctly. And then you need 1 citizen member appointed by the council, and that's Debbie Smith, who must not be a member of the planning commission, so that's filled correctly. And then 1 member appointed by the planning commission from the planning commission's membership, who's not Matt Brown. So you guys, we can reopen the meeting and do this if you want, so we can just start with the full board. Who on the planning commission, other than Matt Brown, wants to be on the BZA? They should decide that. You guys and Teresa should decide that. It's not hard, I'll tell you.
Cares about here?
There's that.
I don't care. I don't care.
Just come in and can ask.
Throw me on.
So Jay will be the planning commission appointee. Good. Perfect. There was 1 person on that resolution for Attica, whose name was on fire. It's just somebody who reliably shows up for all the meetings and real even-handed, appointed by Democratic mayor and Republican mayor, and just a real steady person. And this is kind of fun, she's been on those boards for 20 years. And so Jay's term, we would say, is annual, well, we're probably going to mention or his planning commission term.
so his plan commission is January 1, 2018.
So January 1st, 2025, January 1st, 2025. It was.
Where did you got out?
Jim. He's a planning commission appointee to the DEP. It's not the other planning commission member, which is Matt.
So, we had a meeting here, is that what you're telling me?
Well, she took the space out. There should be, Karen. This, she wasn't on this list.
I'm sorry. No wonder.
She was on the list. Just didn't see it. She's on both.
Okay,
You're off the DCA.
Karen was already on.
Karen was already on.
I'm not gonna fight that.
But I guess she needs to be.
No objection.
It says January
That says,
1 of 27.
that's what that says, but did somebody just say her term expired, but she's willing to serve again?
Kim did.
Yeah, she said she was, I was looking back, she said she would do it again.
And just keep it at 27? It's the 2 weeks, sorry, I made that, way more confused.
We just need to figure out Kenny's term
On the planning commission.
on the planning commission.
So, it's on here, so, he would be
Don't touch it.
2025 to 2021. He took Karen's slot, right? Is he a John? So, yeah, 2025.
Okay, to 2021. Okay.
And so there's one vacancy of a citizen member that's a Democrat or a Republican. Of the planning commission. And after that, you'll have the full depth. We'll just convene. Whenever you're ready.
Finish with this and we'll start a regular meeting, or do we need to do something else?
You just start your regular meeting and we'll cover that when we get to meet.
Okay, I call the meeting to order at 6:31. Public comments? Hearing on utility disconnects. Motion, did you guys get a chance to look at those? There's a couple of big ones, are we all right with that?
Do what?
On the disconnects, a couple of
I'll make a motion to proceed with the disconnect.
Second.
all in favor? Fine. Opposed? Approval of 2025 minutes of June. Everybody get a chance to see those?
I'll make a motion to approve that minutes of the June 25th.
Make a motion to approve.
She did.
I second.
Okay, Craig will second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Approval of claims.
I'll make a motion to approve. the
Well, I
claims.
gotta read them first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
First.
Zip through this thing. There are two sheets of them.
General,
You print them.
$36,713.97. Donation for the parks, $3,667.41. Community Center Fund, $221.11. Alderman Utilities, $92,928.20. CCD, oh my gosh, I just clicked something here.
Do you want me to finish checking?
Yes, it went blank on me, I'm sorry.
That's fine. CCD, $715.31. Seated, $18,337.50. Oakland grant funded projects, $5,543. Water operating, $26,218.37. Customer utility deposit fund, $150. Wastewater operating, $38,883.56. Stormwater utility operating, $6,564.98. Payroll, $31,108.88 for a grand total of $261,052.29.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
I'll second one.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I don't need anything.
Okay, Tim Kirkhoff is up.
Okay,
You're up, Tim.
Let me explain something first. You're gonna explain.
I can, would you like
You
me
explain
to?
this, I'll hand you that.
Okay. Some of you may know, some may not. Tim had surgery last week for the beginnings or the implant of a cochlear. They cannot activate the cochlear for 30 days. So his right ear, he is completely deaf at this moment in time. His left has a little bit. Maybe he'll hear you guys better than me, but I'm just saying, right now, that's working at all. So I'm gonna try to be his ears for him. We ask that if you don't mind, let him give his presentation, and then after he's told your questions, write them down, jot them down, something. Because if he can do a one-on-one without a lot of interjections, it's a little easier for him to hear that. And we appreciate all your patience and your cooperation. Do you want to, Tim, do you want to turn the light off for the TV
Can you
screen?
see this okay? Okay, it's okay. If you open up your booklet there, the very first thing is that what we're gonna be talking about. I kind of like a bad candy, I've been showing up off and on for the last year or so. What I would like to do is talk about how we got here, a little bit of history. I know we have two new council people. I met Craig yesterday, and I think I met you before. I don't think I know you, so my name's Tim Kirkhoff. We embarked about a year ago on renovating the tennis courts and pickleball court down at the park. And when we started, it seemed like it's gonna be a huge uphill battle of raising funds and this type of thing. But we did work with the Benton Community Foundation, which we call, if you see things in here, it says BCF, that's who I'm talking about, and she's right back here. So if I make a mistake, I know Andrew will just jump on me. But they've been great to work with. We put an application in through the town. They approved it to get matching funds. They would match up to $40,000. And through the kind-heartedness and the hard work of an advisory group that I haven't helped me, we raised 43,000 something. And we have pledges of considerable more. So we have enough money to handle all of phase one. We have the contractors. We did the purchasing. We had a storage building come in yesterday that's on it. We had some equipment that maintains the courts. That's all here. We're waiting on a contractor to finish. Well, we're really waiting on a contractor to get started. That's what we're really waiting. And somehow, I don't know, I used to deal with contractors all the time. It hasn't changed. It rains or it does something. But he'll get it done. The guy does a beautiful work. So if we have to wait a little longer to get it, so he's supposed to start July 27th. That's when he's supposed to start. But I think it was supposed to be done mid-July too. So that's what we're. But, so phase one was to raise enough money to be able to improve the courts and add 4 pickleball courts, repurpose that area and add 4 pickleball courts to the Benton community area. That would be the only courts that's in Benton community that are full-fledged regulation courts. Everything's new. It's got new nets. It's got new paint. It's got new lines. it's pretty. When it's done, it'll be beautiful. If you ever have a chance to go to McCall Park in Lafayette, the same guy that did that is doing this one. So I think we got the right guy. So what I did, I put phase one together here. So if you look at this, it kind of brings people up to date on what it is. The basketball court, we're not doing anything but just cleaning the surface and making it look better at this moment, because we just don't have enough money to resurface it. And plus, the basketball court amazingly doesn't have the same issues. It doesn't have the same cracks, whatever. So we're leaving that go. We have fixed the 10-foot fence all the way around, and when you look at it, it's straight mostly. It was really crooked, but now it's straight. We've got a 14 by 20 building that's purchased. It arrived yesterday and it's anchored down so hurricanes can't blow it away. And here's a couple pictures. Return the page. Oh, really? You don't need to turn the page. I'll give you a look at this. This is, there's the basketball courts. And there's a reason that we got this half court. And I really don't want to go into that today, but I can. So let's go to the next slide. This is what the courts will look like. And what's interesting about some of this that we've done we put in portable nets, and not the cheap portable nets. These are a lot more expensive than regular nets that you would fasten down. They're really heavy duty nets. But the beauty of it is you can take a crank, lift it up, and you can roll these things off the court. Why would you want to do that? Well, if you notice, you can play tennis. There's a single tennis court lines that's on those 4 pickleball court on the other side. You can see the lines there. So it makes it multi-purpose. But the other thing that it does, badminton, which I haven't played badminton in years, but people play badminton, and a pickleball court is the exact size of a badminton court. And if you go into the co-rec at Purdue, you can't get on a court that's not being played with badminton. It's that popular. So
In Asia, yeah.
by making this the way we did, it makes it multi-purpose. And it also makes it safer if you happen to run into the net, you're not going to hit a post. So the storage building, that's located right there. What's next?
Benches?
I think that's it. So anyway, you'll have pictures here to look at, to review if you'd like to review it, because that will go away. You won't be able to see that all the time. What we're really looking for now is where do we go now? We've got individuals that's ready to donate more money to help the park and renovate the park besides the courts. So we've come up with a plan for lack of talking, it's called phase 2, kind of a catchy name. But phase 2 is, we also have benches. We want really nice benches that go up 6 or 7. I forgot how many we bought, 6 or 7. Here's phase 2. If you are familiar with the park, the courts that we talked about is right where the 10-foot existing fence is. Can you see that? Or point to it, Ron, if you would, please. Yeah. So we're talking, what direction is that? West. We're talking west of that. What we're proposing is the fences that run around the water treatment plant, shorten them and put in another fence, the same kind of fence that goes around the water tower, goes over to this water pump house and goes around that water pump house. That would be a concrete area, as well as it creates we put a sidewalk in. It says a new 4-foot sidewalk. That sidewalk goes around that side of the court and this side of the court. And the reason for that is safety. Once people start playing, we have 50-some people playing right now. If the problem is when you walk on a court, somebody hits the ball, and if you don't duck quick enough, you get hit. So we thought that it would be a really good idea to put that sidewalk in so you can get access around the court and get on without getting hit by a ball. So that's that sidewalk, and in the social area is some tables and chairs or something we haven't figured out exactly what something is yet, but something like that, it'd be concrete. We looked at AstroTurf. AstroTurf would be really nice, but I did not realize until I got educated a week ago, AstroTurf is really, really hot. You can put it down, it looks beautiful, it's nice and soft, but the softer it is, the hotter it is. It gets up to 120 degrees, and somehow I got a feeling we don't want children crawl around on AstroTurf. So anyway, I think we're back to concrete. So what's included is the concrete, the fence, the sidewalk. That is phase 2. That is all outlined in this document, as well as the pictures and that. We also have what is needed from the town. I put that in here. Obviously looking for approval to be able to move forward with this. But you also have the ability to buy stone at a much lower rate than we do. So assisting in purchasing, where it's still being paid for through the funds. Nothing that we're talking about comes out of Ottawa. It's all done through the BCF agreement that we have. We need electric and water lines. We need electric to our storage building because everything there is battery operated. To blow off the courts, to wash the courts, everything's battery operated, so it keeps the noise level down. Noise can be an issue with pickleball. I don't know if you've ever been around a pickleball court, but besides all the yelling that can go on, the ball can be a little noisy as well too. So we're trying to keep that down, and they have paddles that actually, the noise level is lower. I mean, like half the amount of what a regular pickleball paddle is. So we know that because we go to Arizona, we play out there, and it's required that you have a paddle that meets that guideline. And we might want to do that sometime. But we do need a water line because we also have this being maintained. They wash the courts once a month, at least. And to do that, the only spigot is either inside the chain link fence or it's way over by the pavilion. And I don't know, I guess we could buy a lot of hose, but I really think that it'd be better if we could just have it right there. So we're looking to have that done. We're always looking for volunteers. I have no trouble supervising volunteers. No. So, next picture, Julie. And believe it or not, we have a number of volunteers. The community is really starting to get behind this thing. There's the pump house. We thought what would be nice is we have some local artists. We thought, why not take that pump house and do something with it? And the roof comes in. I don't know, I learned a lot about the pump house. The pump house, the roof comes off of it to service the pumps. So a crane pulls the pump straight out. You don't need to get around the building, you just need to get the crane over the top of it. And there's hooks that go in the top of that, and it lifts off. So I thought, well, why can't we use that and make it a nice little thing for the town? And we have a couple people that they haven't agreed to paint it yet, but some arm twisting, I think, will help us, and we'll maybe get that done. But I think would be a nice thing to add. Next picture, Julie. The one thing that we're also doing, this is just a different view of the same thing. But one thing we have people that, now that we've done donations and we got to this point, we have businesses, we have corporate people, and we have individuals that want to sponsor. So we're looking at how best to do that. And we haven't finalized the best way to do that, but we thought we'd do something similar to what the baseball field does. They have a sign, but also I think we're thinking about selling the courts. You could buy the court and put your name on, and of course that's quite a bit more money, but we have people that are interested in doing that. So that's another way for us to raise funds to do more projects. Okay, that's phase 2. So this stuff is all in your pages here. The next problem we ran into,
I
which is
changed the picture on you guys so you can see it overall. He didn't say to do that, but I had a class at home that told me I was supposed to do that when he gave me that cue.
The next part is phase 3. We created a problem. When you get more people showing up to play, there's no place to park. So we looked at this space right here. Can you see? We looked at putting parking right here, and it would be stone for now. It's right next to Brown Street. Those trees are kind of in the way. But I thought we would put like railroad ties around the outside of it to give it a nice clean edge, and also someplace to bump the car up to if we needed to. Those little things on the right-hand side are bollards. I need the town to probably do that and paint the fire hydrant. I don't think you want somebody to hit that. So that's what those are. That's all outlined here as well, and looking to get approval on that. We would be doing most of the work. Again, we need the town to be able to purchase the stone and then use the funds to purchase the stone. That's all outlined right here. That's phase 3. So we're looking for that approval. So,
Excuse me, Tim,
yes, but
did you say anything about this sign?
I'm going to do that.
Okay,
We contacted Jim Schoen, which he's the guy that does your insurance, who's your associates. We contacted him because I was wondering, should we have certain signs on the court that says certain things? And he informed us that no, that's not necessary unless you have a skateboard or a pool. That was it, wasn't it?
yes,
Yeah.
or a
Those
pond.
two things.
Yeah.
But you do need one sign that says, when is the town open, when is the town park open, and when is the town park closed? You have a sign down there that says the park is closed at dusk, but there's nothing that says when it's open. Now, I don't know what the problem that is, but you might want to talk to him about the verbiage that you need on that sign. But he wants you to have that sign somewhere down in the park. And then the other sign is this guy. On the fence, we're going to have signs that say no skateboards, no bicycles. We're doing that. But this is, if somebody gets hurt, they need to know who to call. Julie and I took AE, what is
A
that?
class with an AED.
We're able to save a life. Maybe not. But we're able to do CPR as well as we even know how to shock somebody. It was a great class. But it seems like we should have this down here. You need to fill in what number to call. I'm assuming 911, but I don't know that. Maybe it's a sheriff that you call. And then they have, from what I've been told, they have AED in their car, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then the other thing that was really pounded into us when we took the class is the address to this place. Because if you call 911, the first thing they're gonna say, where are you? You need to know the address. And I don't know how many people know the address of the park. I finally now know what it is, but that probably needs to be on here. So not all of you have this sheet, so I'll give that to whoever. And, but I think that's a good idea. You probably need 2 of those.
Tim, do you want any more? Tim, do you want any more of these?
Oh, yeah. I guess we got one.
Spot support.
There you go.
We don't need you to follow.
Anybody else wants one? There's one there. You can get them on Amazon. You can get anything on Amazon. So going back to our agenda. We'd like to get approval to move forward on phase 2 and phase 3. And then what can the town do to help us? I outlined the same thing there. Surveillance cameras we didn't talk about. You have a camera now, but Betsy and I was looking at it the other day, and I'm not even sure you'd recognize me. I look thinner in that surveillance camera, but maybe that's because, I lost a couple pounds. I don't know. But I think that we want to consider that because we're spending $70,000 here to have a really nice facility. And beyond that, we're going to spend another $50,000 or $60,000 to get phase 2 to phase 3 done. So we're making the park as nice as we can with the money that we have. And we'll continue to keep working. But it'd be terrible if somebody come along and tore it up. We poured concrete the other day and lo and behold, somebody drove through with a bicycle. Right?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you just can't stop it.
Oh my gosh.
So nevertheless, it'd be something we like to think about. The other one, it'd be nice to consider that, I don't know that you even have a budget for the park. But I do know you do budget meetings, or you be having budget meetings, and we'd like to see it be considered. I know it's difficult to have money, I do. I truly understand that. But we're gonna have a really nice park when we're done. It's not that bad now. We got more kids playing, we got people having picnics down there, more than ever before. So it seems like we ought to appropriate some funds to the park. How much? Oh, I don't know, $1.2 million or something like that. But if it's not $1.2 million, it's something that we can continue to use as improvement on that. Volunteers, community support, Julie, one more, oh, you got it? There's the pavilion, and somebody got the bright idea. Somebody told me the pavilion needs to be painted. So I took the liberty to say, let's jazz this baby up and let's make it look like the park. So it looks like a fun thing. So what happened?
I don't have a clue. I told Dee today, or Betsy yesterday, I said, I'm not the tech person, don't talk to me about the tech stuff.
Anyway, they can see, okay?
Now
I
we're
thought-
in black and white.
We just thought we'd just paint all the poles different colors. Something that makes it fun. Now, I talked to somebody last night that decided that Tim, the park pavilions don't need to be that way. They need to be, if you're gonna, that was my daughter. So you can't fire your daughter, but I said, I don't think you understand it. So nevertheless, I don't know what we're gonna paint it, but I do know that it has been cleaned and it is ready for paint, and we're gonna get some paint and paint it something. We'd like, I think, something that's jazzy looking. Let's spruce it up a little bit. That's where we're at the moment. That's where we're going. And we'd love to hear you say you're for it. And so we can go ahead and start raising funds to make this happen. Pretty quickly. This phase 1 or phase 2 and 3 could happen this year. Then we're gonna run out of money, probably. But I think we can get that done.
Any questions, guys?
Did
Not,
I answer your questions before I started?
not for you guys, but for our engineers. Is that gonna cause an issue with our water plant and what's already in the ground?
We're gonna have to check with the part about moving the fence, and that security fence is there, and it's probably part of the town's IDIM permit, and we'll have to check IDIM security requirements and separation, if it can even go close to the pump house building like that, if there doesn't need to be some distance away, somebody could vandalize or do something in the pump house that would damage the town's water supply and ability to provide it, so.
You just have to check with the department.
We need to check to make sure there's I'm guessing that fence is in location for some reasons, and to make sure that we don't violate any of those reasons if we move it or consider moving it. So some of that pavilion, and some of that stuff, unfortunately, may not be able to happen right there, because if there is a requirement of distance. And certainly if you do encroach on that, when the town does maintenance on the tower and has to shroud that and do a painting or a coating or any kind of that's gonna make that a little more difficult, and might overlap those two areas to a point where neither were good.
What would happen if there was gates
What do you mean?
right next to
Come into
that?
that area and be,
If you
gated off
open
both
up
sides.
a gate, and now you could drive through there if you want.
it kind of depends
Would
on
that
what
be
the
a-
security
Would
part
that
is.
solve a problem? I don't know.
I don't know, Tim, it might cause new ones. But we'll have to just see, because like I say, that fence is there for a reason. So,
Will it take a while to find out that information?
I don't know.
Some of it we
I
can
mean-
try to track down on our own, but some of it is relying on how long it takes.
Them to answer your question.
Julie, go
Yeah.
back to, it probably won't do whatever, but if you go back to the third slide, I think.
Oh, my glasses on. No, that's not the third slide. You want?
No, not that one.
No, I know. You want this one?
The one that shows the phase two. No,
This
that's,
one?
okay. There was another issue. Notice where I went down and measured the distance between where the water tower was in relationship to the fence.
Mhm.
I tried to read everything I could possibly read, and I have seen towns, the fence is right next to the water tower. I've seen them where they're, whatever.
Yeah.
But what we did here was we positioned that 6-foot fence the same distance as what it already
And
is.
if that's what works for our case
I
here,
think that
then that's what we need to report back and say, this is what it's gonna,
Yeah,
this is what's allowed and this is what you'd be living with,
Yeah.
for future projects and things.
because I thought that could be an issue. I wasn't sure if it could be.
It's not about how.
But I thought just eliminate it by doing, so we have 27 foot instead of 28 foot.
And the other thing would be that part around the pump house, it may need separation on purpose.
Well, and the reason I asked about time was if we're gonna try and get it done
Yeah,
before the snow flies, or before people leave for Arizona, which is about Halloween.
I'm in your way, I'm sorry.
I don't know how much time he's talking about doing them, but, time would be helpful.
Can you share some of those schematics with us to be able to discuss with them at all?
You bet. Who do you want us to send them to?
Okay. Carl, can you?
Okay. He wants you to send him some pictures. Do you want all of these that we've looked, or just this one, or?
Whatever you're comfortable sharing.
Okay.
Be helpful.
Are you looking at the social area being gravel,
Concrete.
being concrete? Okay. Because we want to make sure you follow ADA on the sidewalk too.
Yeah. And we did not talk about that, the ADA.
Oh. I have, yeah.
We do.
In this, I don't have a perfect slide to show you, but from what I read, again, reading on the internet doesn't get you everything, but I think I got it. If you have multiple accesses to a given place, office or a sports facility, you have to provide at least one access, and that's it.
ADA.
And for ADA, being compliant. Now, being compliant means you gotta have so wide of sidewalks. These are 4-foot sidewalks. They should match everything that you would see in upcoming slides that you don't see right now, but all the turnarounds are all 5 or 6 feet in diameter. There's 2 places that sidewalk actually raises. As you go down, there's going to be a retaining wall next to the tennis court, or basketball court, tennis court. And then when you get down toward the pump house, it'll have a 112 slope, which is ADA compliant. Going up, that can have access to get into the, 2 different places for the courts. On the other end, we can build a ramp that's off of the social area that comes up, that ties into,
You can't see it on this one.
where it says 27 foot, 2.5, there's a doorway right there.
It goes into the basketball courts.
Not in this phase, but in another project later, there would be a ramp that when they come in on where it says remove 27 foot, and a ramp goes up to a 6-foot flat part, and then you can get into the basketball court. So there's actually two accesses that we would have. And that would have, of course, the railings that you're supposed to have and that type of thing. We would like to put steps in, and from what I understand, you can put steps in and have railings on 2 sides or something, and that's, I don't know, I go to the hospital and I see it in the hospital, so I'm assuming that if they can do it, I'm assuming we can do it. But yes, ADA compliant. It's all, unless somebody notices something that isn't.
They need a sidewalk all the way over to like the parking area.
Not in these two phases.
I know it's not in these two phases, but I mean, to be
It's
compliant.
Oh, to be compliant with ADA, do we need the sidewalk to get them from parking to the court?
Yeah.
I don't know, do you know that?
No. We have a plan for 5 years.
Yes, we will.
You will.
That shows that.
Okay.
But from a money point of view, it's concrete. It's just more concrete, more concrete. So as soon as we touch that, then everything's got to be ADA compliant. Right now, there's nothing down there that's ADA compliant.
Right.
I mean, the porta pots, they're not ADA compliant. I'm not suggesting anything here. I'm just saying facts. It's not. So we thought we'd work backwards, Brad, because it's what we can afford.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, if somebody wants to come along and donate enough money to do it, I have no trouble making drawings. I could do that all night long. But I'm also good at drawing straight lines, and there's a lot of people that can drive curved lines, and make the sidewalks look better and this, that, and thing. That's not me. So I can draw curvy lines if you want them. But I think that's a future, it is a future thing for us. We do have it calculated in at some point. We have the basketball courts calculated in at some point. But we're trying to get the most bang for our buck and to be 100% open here. And we're trying to do things that will help sponsors donate money. Because the only way we can get anything done is money. And it takes time and money, and you can run out. And Ben, the community has done a great job with us. Andrea knows I'll probably be talking to her again one of these days about something. But at the present time, we think we can get this done this year. And so we're trying to limit it to that.
Anything else? No. So we'll send off files.
Okay.
And then we'll wait to hear from you tomorrow, but go ahead.
Is this anything that we can get some sort of approval with contingencies?
That'd be up to the council,
Oh,
what they're comfortable with.
What can we start passing through the road?
Is there any issue with the parking area?
No. I mean, I don't, does anybody have?
Because
any
that's
with
definitely
parking?
me, but Dave might have some input.
If it's just to add parking, before phase 2 or 3, and it's just its own thing, probably not. What do you think?
Just have to make sure you paint at least one ADA accessible parking spot.
Or sign it?
It's not right, but you have to do both. But
phase 2.
Can that be stone?
it can't be still, yes.
So, you don't paint stone, right?
What's that?
You don't paint stone.
People do all the time.
Yeah, we do. I've been in lots of ball diamonds for the.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
That,
that's why, and we're pushing forward on it. The reason that we're pushing, because it has some black years. And somehow once you lose them, somehow they can't find them anymore. And I understand that. But right now, we have a number of people that's interested. We've got the ball rolling. And that's why I'm trying to put extra pressure here. And I don't mean to, but I don't know how else to do this.
So what do you need the most to go?
Parking?
I need approval for phase 1 and phase 2, and I need a water line and electric line.
Water line and electric line.
That's what I need, and I need a painter
Water line.
that likes to paint pervaded posts, bright colors. You know, Dave's shirt would probably be a nice color.
Yes.
You know, Brad's shirt would look good on there too. I don't need any color samples.
So you know,
Wall on Black.
I'm sorry?
Who would be running the water line?
I would think that would be us.
Okay.
Need a hydrant.
and the electric.
How far are we talking?
Well, we can
I'm
get
sorry, I
water,
closed it.
we can get water two places, I think. I don't know about the well house,
I think we
where,
need to
where they have the
research
pickles on. For the pickles with paddles, yeah, them guys.
Yeah.
No, we can get water at the well house, possibly. I'll talk to Tom on that. But other than that, we can get water from the water lab. But we can get electric out of the well house. We can do that.
Thanks.
Get the electric.
How many feet?
And that's shorter distance. Because the well house is right there, so we just
Probably
have
about
to go.
100 feet
100 feet from the water line.
for water and electric. From the
So-
well house.
Okay.
Would that be electric for like site lighting or?
It's just, 110.
And the reason I say the water, because there's concrete gonna go in there. You're gonna wanna put a pipe in.
It's for plugging in the charger so that makes that no lighting. It's just the electric, you just need the charging and the batteries and things, am I correct?
You're not looking
Yeah,
for
there's, everything down there, battery.
spotlights.
I'm sorry.
Park's closed.
No spotlight.
park closed.
Park closed.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this, I don't want any more spotlights aiming at my house. I'm just saying, the one that's there now.
Well,
Plenty.
we can talk to the neighbors, get electricity there. But I don't think that lasts how long.
You want it on the finished side.
Yeah, but this is.
You'd have to come off the main,
No,
I would think,
Yeah.
for water.
Chris is saying we
You
can.
want it
come
off the
up with-
finished side, though, after it's already been treated.
well, there's a hydrant, spigot right on the well house on the outside. On the south side.
But it wouldn't be,
On the well?
but it wouldn't be finished.
No, I'm sorry, not the well house, the water lab.
Okay, yeah, yeah. We're on the
But I
same.
think, I think we'll have to look at what the cost of supplies would be.
Well, we'll let the town water guys check with Tom and make sure the water part will be all right, or how that's gonna go, but I think we could probably move forward with the electric and the parking, couldn't we? No, Tim?
I don't mind you going ahead and going that direction, but whatever we're gonna do, you still need to come in and apply for a permit. So we
Okay.
know what's going on.
Okay, so you would need to get a permit from Tim for whatever we're gonna be doing first. And then he can advise you with the permit and make sure everything is going accordingly.
Correct.
But you need to check with Tom and everything about the water line for sure.
Mm-hmm. So is that an
It just-
approval? Am I to write down that that was approved?
So we can make a motion to do painting and electrical and parking with the gravel? Can we, or do you still need a permit for the gravel?
We still need a permit, yes.
Okay, so we don't want to make a motion or pass anything until you get the permits?
No, you got it passed.
Okay.
They just have to come in and get the,
So are we all right with the electrical and painting and the parking with the gravel? Treva, are we all right with that then? Okay, a motion for the electric, the paint, and starting with the parking.
Okay,
And then tentatively with the water line, checking with Tim for permits.
okay.
Well, and Tom for
Tom,
what we
yes,
can do,
for the
yeah.
water line, yes. Tom and Ron
And
and
the
Kenny.
locates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, a motion. Yeah.
Okay.
Make a motion, Linda made a motion,
oh, second.
Craig will second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Can you make another motion now that there will be no permitting fees? So we're not gonna charge them a fee.
We're not, okay, because I know that's on our agenda. Okay, I need a motion to not charge them permit fees.
Motion.
Second, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so no fees for you guys.
I can't do this at midnight?
Park's closed.
And then we'll wait to hear from Dave.
Yes, these guys will check on fencing and.
Is that something that we, if it goes
as we would like. Is that something that we would need another meeting before we get the motion and the approvals on that? Or is that if Dave finds out next week it's a go, or, I mean, how does that work?
I would probably recommend another, at least discussion like this, because there could be implications that are positive and negative for both pickleball court users and the guys working on the Learn Tower 10 years from now, or whatever, and the cost that that's gonna cause, or what that might mean as far as impacts.
Well, in 10 years, Dave, I probably won't be here.
Well,
You will. You're still a young
I will
buck.
be here.
I'll be down there with my cane out there checking it all out.
Still playing pickleball.
But is this something that would be done rather quickly?
Oh, but we don't know yet. He's gonna call the IDEM and
Oh.
you need to send them some pictures and then they'll work on that.
Yeah, this will be the main thing,
Yeah.
hearing from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious, this is nice weather, it's hot. It's a nice time to do, you know, and sort of have the water around, so.
Okay.
It looks really nice though. It's
Well,
really coming along.
We're anxious for the guy to come to start the courts.
And if you like, come down and visit us, because they're playing most every morning down.
And we do.
And if you want to learn how to play
Meeting in the
pickleball,
morning off.
there's training sessions that's going to be starting in about a month from now,
That's right.
so,
We're looking for you to sign up.
yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your cooperation.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you then.
Thank you.
I got it. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, Dave, you are up.
Did everybody get this?
I know.
And then it's in here, very bottom.
Bottom of the pile.
I have some extras if anybody wants them or needs them. Try to keep it fairly brief unless you guys want more. There's a pile of them here. Oh. You get it? Mine are- Thank you. So I'll just run through, we have before you our typical monthly kind of project update meeting agenda that we go through. A lot of these items have been on this document for a long time. As we make progress and things get done, you can see things kind of crossed off the list. The first few projects have to do with Dirt Studebaker Trail. We're through right-of-way acquisition, so that first bullet point is really all it will be crossed off. The only new thing that I was not aware of is that parcel 4 received their payment, so they finally cashed their check. On utility coordination, the Duke easement's been done, and I don't know if it's farther down here, but I'll just discuss it. The Duke poles have been relocated, and I believe the other co-located utilities have moved over to those Duke poles, and so now we've requested Duke to come back and get the old poles and take them out. So hopefully, if that's not happened already, it'll be happening very shortly. As far as I know, there are no funding issues. Project was awarded to Milestone. They're scheduled to have already started staking, which I saw when we came in, has happened. They've also installed some silt fence and things. So the one thing they've reached out to us for, and I did not print copies of this, but I can send it to you guys in an email, or if you have, there's only 2 options. This Trex decking is one type of material that will be across the pedestrian bridge that goes over out of the ditch. And so it's that nicer deck material that you might be familiar with. 2 colors are a brown or tan and a gray. And I don't know, shame on me, I should have brought samples. If there's any concerns or any desire to have one or the other, and I got the email here that I think here it is. So Island Mist is the gray, and Havana Gold is the brown. So,
Dave, do you want to mention what color the bird is to coordinate it to?
do you know? I don't know for sure. It's not painted, right? It's just
I thought it was the rustic one.
Yeah.
This one is the gray, this one is the gray.
that's the gray, and
Okay,
the
and
one
then
is
this
the
one is the
yeah.
blue.
They're not that far apart, honestly.
Grays up
If you've seen other pedestrian bridges that have the trusses that get rusted, that's what this will look like. So I don't know if brown would go as good with that as gray or
Gray is
not.
in the corner and then the other one on the right says Havana Gold.
Okay.
I don't have it.
I like the gray.
No, that's fine.
I would recommend that one probably.
Which one's gonna be hot?
Yeah, and they both should have the same kind of slip resistance and abrasion so that if it is wet, it's not gonna be hopefully very slick.
Gray is good.
All right, I'm gray.
Gray's fine.
All right, we'll report that back. We have taken care of a CAD release so that they could get the survey files and design files to be able to lay out the staking that they needed and will continue to need throughout the project. We've reached out or reaching out to Milestone now that they've started to mobilize a little bit to have kind of a kickoff first progress meeting, which will have regular progress meetings throughout the project when they do really get started in earnest, just to track everything, answer questions, keep everybody on the same page as best as possible. And ultimately come to you probably once a month with a claim for payment on the progress work that we completed. And we can step through those at that time. But their substantial completion is October 24th and have everything on the punch list done and ready for final payment by November 14th. So those dates haven't changed, but don't be surprised if they don't ask for more time because we've been a little slow at being able to get them started. So we're having everything ready for them to start. So far, they have not asked for that, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. Along with the trail project, there's kind of in the middle of it, there's a CCMG project to do the public road approach portion of the work at Fluke Drive. Milestone is also under contract to do that for those amounts there. That is supposed to be done a little sooner with the intent to have that open for harvest. So that's why it's September 13th. There's a new culvert going in under the road along the ditch along Oxford Street. And the radiuses are being enlarged. That's why the poles had to move out so we can have larger turning radiuses for trucks and things that are trying to get in and out of that area. Also along with the trail project is the Briar Memorial Trailhead Park that's behind the back page or second page. We had at one time, several months ago, maybe years ago now, got a quote from Milestone or got a price from Milestone and still say quotes from other contractors to install a lot more amenities than what are in the base contract for the trail. So pretty much parking spaces and concrete is in the trail project, but a shade sail, benches, picnic tables, things like that have been conceptualized and we have a concept plan. If you've not seen that, I'd be happy to send it to you guys to kind of see the vision for what the Briar Memorial Trailhead Park would be. That family donated the property and also made a cash donation to go towards improvements. And they wanted to very much participate in landscaping and providing things from the family farmstead when the time is right. And so we're keeping that in mind and that time is coming. I don't know if it'll be this fall, but I just hope by next spring for sure a lot of stuff could happen. So we haven't talked in a while about the shade sail structure. Are you waiting on me for a green light or? Okay. Don't remember, but I know Ryan has that, and I think he said it's fine, but it's been long enough. I know we talked about it, but I can't remember off the top of my head, so, because I don't want you to order something wrong.
Backing up on the CCMG portion.
Yeah.
I got a letter from NDOT wanting to know when we're closing that out.
Okay, correct.
So, do you want me to send the email so you can?
If you
read it?
could,
Okay.
23-2 and 24-1, are those the ones they're trying to capture in that?
They just
closeout?
mentioned 2024-1.
Okay. There's a round or two that they mentioned in that last email. They want those closed down before next applications, but I would hope by the end of the year, that's going to be closed out no matter what, and hopefully as soon as September. So if you don't mind sending that to me, then I can help you respond to that, Trina. Any questions about the trail and all its components? Kind of like Tim's piecing a lot of different funding and puzzle pieces together, we have to do the same thing a lot of time. So item 4, the 2025-1 CCMG grant was for a crack seal project. That is under contract and we're just waiting to come around to rotation of that contractor's schedule. It's Pavement Solutions, which has done work for the town and many communities in the area before. I have not talked to Chris Oakes, is the owner's name. They have been in the area doing some crack seal work, so I don't know if he has 1 or 2 crews. His completion date is October 31st. The only concern he's expressed to us in the past is coordinating with Milestone along Oxford Street because it's set to get re-crack sealed as a part of that package as well. So they just be working in the same place and might track each other's work or cause some coordination issues. So the other town streets are all the ones that have been done in, I'd say, the last 5 or 6 years. Parts of Main Street, 2nd Street, several others, I can't remember, a lot of the Darby area and Hardin Street and Mayor Street. So it's basically for preservative maintenance of the recently resurfaced streets so that those first cracks that appeared don't get moisture and water down in them and cause freeze-thaw expansion and damage over winter. I don't think there's anything for number 5, unless Tim has any concerns or things. We felt as homes have been started or getting started with the town's lateral connections for sewer and water and making sure that the storm infrastructure that's in the ground as part of the Central Avenue project doesn't get damaged. But now that we have one contractor, hopefully that's coordinated with one individual rather than potentially 8 different ones. So, 5-year capital plan. Safety items, is that something we're just going to make its own list on, or does that need to get incorporated if they're big enough
Well, we were
items?
wanting to make it incorporated, but I'm tired of waiting, so we need to move on, especially if it being budget season.
That's kind of. Yeah, we need to update the council. The 5-year capital plan is mostly about capital and improvement projects, whether they're water, wastewater, stormwater, or CCMG and road and sidewalk type projects. And since there's a couple new members, it would be bad to maybe share the previous one that you can see. And what we do is you start with a big laundry list of things, and it is not affordable because there's not enough money in Indiana probably almost to do everything that might be needed. But the prioritization is really the ultimate goal of having that, whittling that list down to what can be accomplished and what needs to be accomplished more in the near term. So that 5-year kind of window, and then even inside that, what's next year, what's the 2nd year, what's the 3rd year of that, so that budgeting can line up with that. And that also then helps to make sure that you do a water line before you resurface the street, if you know it's in that near term kind of planning. And it does even overlap with the comprehensive plan, so that was what Jed talked about in earlier meetings tonight. So it would be good in August to have us provide a presentation on where we're at with that 5-year capital improvement plan and get your input and direction on is Flip Drive the next thing we want to try to save funding for and apply for CCMG funds to take the first step on improving that and hopefully getting that street paved up to Dollar General for the South Main Street. Get more traffic in is more of a priority. And you can see some budgetary kind of planning numbers to put with those that helps make the puzzle pieces of that thing seem more either achievable or much more tougher to track kind of thing. If that makes sense. Chris, you want to talk about the water utility and Okra items?
Yeah, I've got a few things here on the water utility line. On the high service pumps, I've not heard from Russell or Tom since the last meeting, so I'm assuming things really haven't changed and they're still fighting the electrical issues and signaling to those pumps here if they need any help. So I think he's continuing on. Unless Ron or Kenny's got an update.
It hasn't been nearly like it was. I know,
But it's still not what it should.
correct. I know at one time, but, and it's been a few weeks.
It's been a month since
Yeah,
we last
yeah.
talked about it. And last Russell said it was kind of on a 2-week cadence, so it'd be once since we last talked, and yeah. So continue to be here to help as that goes, but I think it's in the electrician's kind of purview to help troubleshoot, figure out what's going on. Controls, Kenny, did Brent reach out to you?
Yeah, now he's wanting me to talk to Betsy, about the AT&T ordeal.
Oh my lord,
So when he-
we're going to talk to AT&T.
I
Talk
did.
to them, talk to them.
Yeah, when he talked to me, he said it sounded like the app, trying to download the Maple app on your phones was the way to go. So I don't know why he's talking about AT&T still.
Okay,
Do we want to have a separate breakout with him
Yeah.
sometime?
yeah.
I've got the roof replacement on here still, but I believe you guys are progressing with that.
It's done.
It's okay, oh, it's done. Look okay?
Yeah.
Good. Good, and then I'll keep the other considerations on here, but we really won't get into those too much until we get the controls sorted out. One of the items we had talked about last time was a standby generator. I'm working with some electrical engineers to get just a preliminary solution on that one, so you can have that in the 5-year capital plan or similar. On the Okra stormwater wastewater study and hopeful project there, one of the action items we had was for Kenny and I to go out and camera those storm infrastructure that's out in the field that would then become the Darby addition. We did do that. Got a better feel for the connectivity out there. It appears that all that infrastructure is going north to NDOT's ditch along 52 there. So it doesn't appear that any of the storm infrastructure that, in theory, the Darby addition could connect to, it doesn't look like any of that is currently owned by the town. So just a little bit more, I guess, ammunition to try and pursue a larger storm project for them to have a positive outfall on that one. On that note, Shannon had sent us those updated cost breakouts for the different projects to go after Ready Grant on. I did review those, and those look to be in keeping with what we'd sent. So from BFNS's side, I think what she has is good for her to go and talk to Letitia, whether or not that's happened yet. I've not heard, but here to support that as needed. And then on the wastewater project, I believe everything's been submitted. It's with Okra, and we'll wait to hear back on what the next steps will be for that. Hopefully we'll hear some positive news in the coming months. Not much of an update, but any questions?
Okay. So the last item or category is kind of more just miscellaneous other items. This spring's legislative session, I should say, they made some changes to how the community crossings matching grant, CCMG program will work. NDOT has sent a couple of emails out broadcasting them that they are still digesting what those mean and how they're going to adapt the program to meet those new requirements. Some of it will be additional PASER, which is another acronym. I don't know what it stands for, but it's your pavement rating system. It's actually going to require it to be audited and not just a town employee or just one person do it, but it'll be more of a team approach. And it will require some checks and balances to make sure that there's some QCQA going on, that if I rate a street an 8, it really is an 8, and it's not supposed to be a 7 or a 6 or something like that. But that's only one component of the changes. They may go to one, they're going to go to one call per year, right? That is for sure. And exactly when that will happen remains to be announced. So it's probably going to become a lot more competitive with only one round per year. And timing of that will start to sync everybody up to where applications will be due the same time, and awards will be in at the same time, and then contractors will be turning bids near the same time, and that can make it probably more competitive and tougher to get good bids is what I'm afraid of. So we'll keep you up to date with what we hear on our end and communicate those announcements as they come out and what they might mean. Colin, you want to talk about the bike?
Yeah, so the next thing is the bike ped planning grant program. It's going to be opening up in, I believe, November. We have an intern we hired to in the Parks Department. It's the Parks Department head reached out to me, and they were trying to get her experience and keep her busy, and they asked if you guys are interested in doing that in the future, that they would do the application for free and just to kind of keep her, get some experience. And I would probably be working with Dave and I a lot. So it's, I mean, if you guys wanted to even have it started, we can do that if you want. If not, then that's fine as well. It's not something that you would have to apply for this year if you want to, but.
Well, I think we really want to eventually apply, it's just when can we have our local
Right.
manage to do that?
I told them that, I was like, I'm not sure they're ready to yet, but. So it's, we can just put it on hold and.
Perhaps the capital improvement plan discussion will help
Yes,
make that look a little more focused with this, how possible and how far out it might need to be.
yes.
I told them I would just give the information once you guys decide.
Do you think you guys can do that at the August
I think that's what we need to do.
the first meeting, whatever that is? What is that date? How much will it be?
August 7th.
August 7th meeting.
I think so. If that's what you need us to do, that's what we'll do.
Yeah, because I think they need to hear that before we start talking budget.
When are you starting August?
We're gonna talk about that here in a few minutes.
Okay.
I think we got it targeted for the 14th, maybe.
Okay, well then, yeah. We can do that. And then Tim, I still need to get with you on just keeping the official zoning map, moving forward as you get progress on ironing out which parcels are in question and working through the process of any changes that need to be made to maybe the right layer and the right zoning classification. So that's what we've got for project updates. If you have any questions or concerns, we have to discuss.
Sounds good. Any questions, everybody's okay? All right, Judd, your turn again.
Okay, so 4 things. Is there a motion to ratify the appointment of Kenny King to the Planning Commission? That happened earlier tonight, and so
I need to ratify Kenny to the planning commission.
I'll second. All in favor?
the next 2 things concern the resolution that you, or ordinance that you have about the Economic Development Commission appointee. Before we get to the actual ordinance, since we're going to introduce it tonight and pass it tonight in the same meeting, we need a motion to suspend the rules that allow you to introduce the ordinance and pass it in the same meeting rather than do it in 2 different meetings, 2 readings instead of 1 reading instead of 2, rather. So I need a motion to consider introducing and adopting that ordinance in the same meeting.
Make the motion.
All in favor? All right.
And then now on that ordinance 2025-0717C. It's for the Economic Development Commission, and I told you it's like ceremonial, but, and it's got 1 space on it. Who would be, I would ask that you consider appointing a primary person, and if we need a second person as well. So we don't have to come back and have, it would have to be a special meeting because of your meeting schedule if we had to come back, so I think we'll avoid that. To be on this commission, who will join the Benton County Council's appointee that hopefully I will be learning about on July 24th. But I need a primary and a secondary member of the EDC, Economic Development Commission. It can be on the council or whoever you appoint. It doesn't have to be on the council.
Anybody else want any more? Oh,
D looks like she needs to be on.
It's a great idea.
yeah. Dee,
I know
would you be
they-
willing?
Yes, I would agree on
It's like lifting, just saying, but it's a great introduction to tips.
that. Okay.
Okay, so a motion to appoint Dee to the commission.
So she'll be your first, well, I'd say, Dee's your nominee, so Dee would be the first, and then give me a second just in case. And we'll fill both those names in on the space down about 2/3 of the way down on that first page of your ordinance to appoint an EDC.
Eric, would you want to be a second in case she couldn't make it?
Yeah, I'll do a second.
Okay.
You,
Dan.
and like if necessary.
He's gonna be passing around, so.
Yeah, we've got one to pass around.
Okay, so we've got Dee and we've got Craig.
Motion to adopt that ordinance.
I'll make a motion to adopt 2025-0717C.
A second.
Second, all in favor? Opposed?
Thank you for that. And then, you said you got that later. And then the last fourth thing is, you got this resolution in front of you to confirm the boards and commissions. And Triva has the official copy that has a change or two that we've already made. With Kenny King is on the APC until 2029. And there's a vacancy still to fill for a citizen member if you have any ideas about that. For the Plan Commission on page 2, in the upper third of that page. And it can be a Republican or a Democrat at this point. And if you don't have that, that's okay, we can come back and do that later, but you'll need to fill that and have a full board. And it helps to have a full board because if 2 people miss and you don't have a full board, you're flying without a net. And which seems to fly without a net a lot, so we've got
So like
a.
Debbie Smith could be the,
What's it?
Debbie Smith could be the
Yes.
person that fills that.
Yeah, as long as they're not independent, they could be,
She's Republican.
that'll work. Would she accept?
Yeah.
There you
This is,
go. Boy, is it gonna be chillier tonight than normal. Yes. Good, I mean, it's good to, especially since you're just passing this, and that's, you got one blank. Let's get a name in there, and if we need to tweak it
and
later.
it's fine that Debbie's on both boards, because she's already on the BCA.
Well, so the BZA is the only one that really cares about membership, so she couldn't be on the BZA. She's just a plan commission member. She can't be on the BZA because we have Karen.
Looks like she's already on the BZA.
Oh, she's already on.
She's already there.
So can she be on the PC?
Appointed by the council, who must not be a member of the plan commission. So she can't be on the plan commission. Sorry, no, she's already on the BZA, and she is the BZA's non-peak plan commission appointee. So we need someone else. Sorry. Or you can,
But it could be one of us. No.
on, what position, is it, I think it's, can,
This is yours.
yeah, yes, it could be.
Right?
It's gotta be, an elected, appointed, or employee, elected official, appointed official, like Tim would be an appointed official, or an employee of, so Kenny is an example of the employee, so you have to be any elected official.
Can you be on this one, Brad, or you're already on something else?
Just on the RCA.
Can Brad be on this one?
Sure can.
Okay, then.
Well, looking at.
All those in favor say aye. That's what you get for trying.
Yeah, so that works great, but it's not heavy lifting, I'm telling you. It's the planning commission, it's the BZA that needs, at least in the towns that I'm used to, having their own planning and zoning jurisdiction. Have been, the town of Fowler met June 15th, June 25th, and 3 times last night, 3 more variants last night, but one of them didn't have a quorum because there was a conflict of interest, and we're coming back August 13th. It's like, man, this was a lot for 4 chickens. This is going on here. But we're gonna have a 4th meeting now.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just gonna I would say 2029. Where's, yeah, he's at 2029 already, right? So yeah, I keep it co-terminus with this. It'll be important if anybody resigns that we get that, stick it out. That's a luxury that a lot of folks have. So was there a motion to approve that with Brad's name added and Kenny's name added?
Make a motion to approve addition.
I'll second.
And then the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Good. Good job. That's all I had, unless there's questions for me about anything else. This is what that was, the resolution.
No, that's temp stuff. I mean,
Were you gonna talk about, do you need me for?
I just have one question while you're still here. You made a comment in the first part of the meeting about not, with the TIF stuff, not having industrial in residential.
Just as an example, a zone, an industrial zone next to a residential zone.
And you say that we do have right now, which is going to be an issue. I mean, I'm gonna bring something up because I've gotten a couple phone calls over the last few days about this piece of property and what the individuals wanting to do on this property because it is zoned industrial. So
Would they need a variance, or is it automatically permissible in an industrial zone?
I guess I'm gonna ask, because I need to research it, but I'm gonna ask you since you're here, that is, the guy wants to put in he wants to do repo and wants to put a fence up and put the vehicles on that lot that he's repoing in the industrial.
So I'll have to look at your zoning ordinance, and a lot of zoning ordinances, those that auto salvage operations require a special exception. And I gotta believe that'll require a special exception, which means the neighbor's gonna get notice, there's gonna be a hearing. And, to the extent it gets granted, it can have conditions attached to it, that use, like fencing and lighting and security and noise and hours of operation and.
All that stuff.
Yeah, those are the most problematic of all, I'll tell you that.
Well, the only thing that I know about it at this point, that this is what you gentlemen wanted to do, but I did get a call from the realtor when the house, or the property was for sale, asking what was zoned, and I said at this point in time, it's zoned industrial, but it is a residential district, and the guy bought it. But there was no other questions to say, what can we do on this piece of property?
So the issue, so just generally speaking, you wouldn't want an industrial zone property next to a residential zone just because it's gonna be a problem and you're gonna be hearing about it.
Yeah.
But, what I was saying about it maybe requiring a special exception. There are BZ, so I told you planning commissions interpret the comprehensive plan, and they also come up with the zone code changes. Those are the two things that a plan commission does. And so in Attica, their plan commission just passed an ordinance that says you can't have shipping container storage in residential districts. And that got added to the zoning code by the city council. And now they're considering under what conditions you can have shipping containers in industrial and commercial zones. And so it's land use. So if it's a land use related thing, it has to come to the plan commission. And the plan commission can either be the people who initiate the proposal, like one of them could come in and say, I want to talk about whether we have multifamily dwellings in R1 zones or not, if that's permitted or not. So they can initiate that, have a discussion on it, come to a conclusion on it, and they make a recommendation to the town council, positive, negative, or no recommendation, and then you vote whether to do it or not. Or you initiate it, you say, hey, we want to stop shipping containers in residential zones. And so come up with that ordinance, so you do that or send them an ordinance that you want them to consider. And then they'll have a hearing and talk about it and send a recommendation, positive, negative, or no recommendation back to you that you do what you want to do with their input. You're not bound by their recommendation, but they could give a negative recommendation and you could go ahead and pass it. If that's an advisory plan commission, just advices. And so those are the two functions of a plan commission. The primary functions of a building, the Board of Zoning Appeals are to give variances, which are just to vary the terms of the code, the zoning code, or to give special exceptions. And special exceptions, usually in a zoning code, and yours has it, because it's based on Benton counties, and Benton counties has it. There are uses that it'll say in an agricultural zone, you can have a special exception for wind towers or solar, for instance. What that means is they're allowed in an agricultural zone, but it takes a permit from the BZA. So you gotta come to the BZA, the neighbors get notices that you're proposing to have this use on land, and they can consider it and attach conditions to it. So they may say, yes, you can have wind towers, but we're not gonna do any more than 750 megawatts. And they can't be built within 120 foot of someone's home in case they fall over, or a road. So there's a bunch of, and we want $1 million a year for 5 years. Example of an economic development payment that's in a condition that got attached to the wind towers of Benton County. But you attach conditions to it that make it more tolerable. So like in Warren County example of a salvage yard that was going in, they restricted its operational hours to 7 p.m. every night, no later than, no movement on that property after 7 p.m., nobody moving vehicles around, nobody doing that. Fencing that you can't see through, can't be chain link fence with plastic strips in it, it's gotta be perfectly opaque and 6 feet high, and no razor wire so deers don't get hung up in it. And, but trying to control what was objectionable about it, and the neighbor was okay with that at that point. And it doesn't require that the neighbors be okay with it, but it comes through the Board of Zoning Appeals, and notice goes out to the neighbors to let you know that you're doing a use on a land that is somewhat acceptable, but it's more intense than what would typically be done. So like dry cleaners are always a special exception in a business zone. That's not just like having a grocery store. That has chemicals and heat and smell that are associated with it, and so you need permission to do that, because it's a little heavier, more intense use of that property for that purpose. Wind towers are a more intense use of agricultural property, but you find it on agricultural property. So those are the two things that the BCA would do. So if they were going to apply to have the salvage yard, that is typically viewed as a more intense use of an industrial property than what, some typical light industrial use. And it would require permission from the BZA and notice out to all of the adjoining landowners, and they could attach conditions to it. So that's what I would expect your group to say.
Do you want us to say or do anything real quick, Tim, that you need us to do right away on this
Okay, we've already gone over the zoning stuff.
permit fee?
We'll get a meeting set up The only other thing I was gonna bring up was about this property, so we'll talk about that.
Okay.
And we'll bring some of that to the next meeting. But we also, had another individual company come and see us about a cell tower with Verizon again. And we told them that we already had one company, and we told them what the offer was, and they said that was a ridiculously low offer. So they're coming back to you with another offer, with another company with an offer.
Okay.
So,
Okay, we'll just stay tuned.
yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Take care. Salary ordinance, all this does is add the 50 cents you guys agreed to give Aaron after his 90 days. That is all that is. Ordinance, did you change the ordinance number because we went too crazy today? So I think we're at 8.
We're at that, was that resolution was D to confirm the boards, and then okay, your salary.
Did we sign the,
You should sign the copy, we sent it.
did we vote or did we?
I just have
The
a,
resolutions were voted on with the addition of Kenny and with, with Brad as the,
Yes.
So, and that one we haven't signed, but I have C here, I haven't seen D.
so D is coming around, that's that one, and then E is, you guys need to, ratify your decision to give Aaron his 50 cents in salary ordinance 2025-07-17-8. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
it'll be Dave.
I'll make a motion for the salary ordinance for the 50 cents for Aaron. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And then the budget meeting, I checked as of today, Benton County still doesn't have anything out. It says that it's coming soon. When you go to the website, the state has released a few numbers, but not all of them. And what the state has released, I'm seeing the Benton County side, but not the Tippecanoe County side. It's always a challenge. So anyway, without knowing revenue estimates, I can't really tell you what we can put in the budget yet. So I had sent an email, most of you answered that the 14th would work. It does not work for Amy. But this is just, preliminary conversations. So if anything came up that was a lot, we could get her. But
Okay.
yeah, so, I don't want to push it too much further. The state's already pushing us to the limit. So does that work for you all?
Did Amy offer another night?
No, she's gone, so we're at conference the 11th, 12th, 13th. Amy leaves on the 14th. And then she gets back right before our next board meeting. So it's just
Is the
like,
21st too late then? Do we need to do it before the 21st meeting?
oh, that's our regular meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be too long of a meeting, unless you want another 3-hour meeting.
No. I'm gonna kill you.
We usually have budget separate because it takes so much time.
We can do the 14th, and if something arises that we need to check with her, then we
Then we can
can.
check with her on
The
the
14th
21st.
at 5:30?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I have written down. I will be out the 7th.
You will be out the
I will
7th.
be out the 7th.
Okay. Okay. Did I have anything else, Steve? I don't think so. I'm too tired.
Any other business or comments? Motion to adjourn at 7:57.
I moved to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Who's that?
Me and Brad.
Okay.